Welcome back. This is lesson 2.3. Template and recipe. Two patterns at once. Because they pair. I'm Dr. Song. By the end of this lesson, you'll build a reusable template for any recurring deliverable and a 4-step recipe for any multi-step analysis. And you'll pick the right one between them without guessing. That outcome matters, because this is the lesson where you stop writing prompts one at a time and start building prompt systems. Templates are the seed of what becomes Cloud MD file in Module 4 and skills in Module 6. Recipes are the seed of orchestration in Module 8. Get the distinction right this week, and it pays off for the rest of the course. So far in this module, you've learned to write a good prompt. Few-shot lock the output shape, chain of thought lock the reasoning, both made one answer better. Template and recipe do something different. They make the next 200 answers better. A template is a prompt with named blanks. You write it once, carefully, and then fill it in every Monday morning, every week, every quarter, same shape every time. Consistency is the point. A recipe is a prompt that asks Claude to walk through several steps within a single prompt, where each step feeds the next one output, but composed of named intermediate artifacts. Decomposition is the point. Consistency and decomposition. That's the pair. And you'll see in a minute why choosing wrong between them is the most common mistake students make in week 2. I'm going to build a template live, then run it twice on different inputs so you can see what consistency buys you. The deliverable, a weekly status report. Every project manager writes one. Every project manager writes a slightly different one every week. The template fixes that. Look at the output. 6 sections, right order, right tone, right length. The template did the work. Now watch what happens with a different set of raw nodes in the same template. Same shape, different content, consistency across runs. That's the template move. 6 paragraphs of anatomy on a card in a minute. But the point you should be feeling right now is this. A reader who sees your report every Monday is going to look in the same place for blockers every time. Structure is a courtesy to the reader. It's also what makes your work legible at scale. 6 parts, each one does a specific job. 1. Persona at the top, sets voice and expertise. You are the project manager for a project name. 2. Named placeholders in all caps brackets. Visually obvious. Hard to forget to fill in. This is the part that separates the template from a long prompt. 3. Explicit structure. Sections named in order with brief descriptions. Don't make Claude guess the shape. Hand it the shape. 4. Constraints. Length, tone, what to include, what to exclude. 1 page. Past tense verbs. Percent complete on each in-progress item. 5. A slot for the raw material. The variable content that changes every run. Mine is dump this week's notes here. Yours will be different. The slot is the same idea. 6. A don't invent clause. One sentence at the bottom. Do not invent items not supported by the raw input. This is the honesty clause. It is the most important line in the template for anyone whose output will be read by leadership. When all 6 are present, the template survives the new team member, the distracted Tuesday, the too short Monday. That's what makes it a system instead of a prompt. Now the other pattern. A recipe is a prompt that walks through several sequential steps, where each step feeds the next one prompt, several named artifacts. The task, competitive analysis for a mid-sized software product. If you handed that to Claude in one sentence, analyze the competitive landscape, you'd get a paragraph or two of plausible-sounding generalities. Fine, not useful. The recipe forces 4 separate outputs: a list, a table, a summary, and a recommendation, each one verifiable on its own, each one feeding the next. Look at what just happened. 3 distinct artifacts, each labeled with its step number, each one readable on its own. If I want to pull the comparison table into a deck, I can, without the surrounding prose. If the pricing summary is wrong, I know exactly which step to rerun. That's the recipe move. Decomposition. One prompt, several named artifacts, each one independently verifiable. Now the decision you came here to learn. 6 questions. Use them every time. 1. Does the output have a fixed shape? If yes, template. 2. Does the task have distinct sequential steps that build on each other? If yes, recipe. 3. Will you reuse this exact shape many times? Either, but templates get reused more often. 4. Is it the same task with different data each run? Either. 5. Do you need intermediate artifacts, a table, a list, a summary, that you can lift out and use separately? If yes, recipe. 6. Is the whole thing one deliverable? Or is it a process that produces several deliverables on the way to one? One shape, template. Several artifacts, recipe. 4 failure modes worth flagging. 1. A template without placeholders. If it's just a long paragraph with no bracketed fields, it's a prompt, not a template. You won't reuse it. You rewrite it, promote it, by adding the blanks. 2. A recipe whose steps don't build on each other. If step 4 doesn't reference steps 1 through 3, you don't have a recipe, you have a list of 4 separate prompts glued together. Rewrite step 4 so it names the prior steps explicitly. 3. Missing the don't invent clause. Recipes especially tempt hallucination because the output looks so comprehensive. Add one line. If you lack information for a step, say so rather than inventing details. Non-negotiable on anything with numbers. 4. 8-step recipes that should have been a skill. If your recipe is longer than 6 steps, you've outgrown this pattern. You need a skill that's module 6, or a multi-prompt workflow in CoWork that's module 4. 6 steps is the ceiling. Name it when you hit it. Specific, small, produces 2 portfolio artifacts. Step 1. Pick one recurring deliverable from your own work. A weekly update, a meeting agenda, a performance review section, a case brief, a client check-in email, something you'll write again. Step 2. Write a template for it using the 6-part anatomy. 6 parts, all present. Bracketed placeholders in all caps. A don't invent clause at the bottom. Step 3. Pick one analytical task from your own work. Competitive analysis, vendor selection, pricing decision, risk assessment. Write a 4-step recipe for it. Steps build on each other. Step 4 references steps 1 through 3 explicitly. Step 4. Save both to your personal prompt library that you started in Module 1. Then post the library, showing the 2 new entries, to the Week 2 discussion board. 1 sentence on each. For the template, which recurring deliverable? For the recipe, which analysis and what step 4 buys you that one shot wouldn't? Coming up, Lesson 2.4 Creating Artifacts. Few-Shot taught Claude what to produce. Chain of Thought taught Claude how to think. Template and Recipe taught Claude the structure of your repeatable work. Next, Claude stops producing text and starts producing tools, interactive artifacts right inside the chat that a colleague can open, click, and use. This is where the $20 Pro plan stops looking like chat and starts looking like programming without coding.